All right. Welcome to TruthStream. Today we have the honor of having Greg Brown, known as Quantum Brownie, and of course my cohort Scott Stone on the podcast. And we have a lot to talk about. Brownie is in the Australian community, and also, but now that has expanded all around the world through the collective. And we're gonna let him chat and talk a little bit about himself and what's going on in the world in the world of Lobstr, which is a wallet, and the world of the ISO coins, and what a little bit about what those mean, and what's going on with the collective. So please welcome to the show and take it from here.
Thanks, guys. No, it's an honour to be on here today. There's a lot that's going on since we last spoke. And I know we sort of met through Mel Carmine and doing those grandma Zooms, which were fantastic. I mean, it's been quite a journey since then. But yes, I suppose, look, just to go back a bit. I mean, I got involved with crypto back in 2019, knowing that was the way things were going, and a real journey of learning the whole crypto space. And then 2020, when just before the pandemic, I lost my job, and then I said to myself, I'm never going back to work again. So I went on that crypto journey full time, and it's been a sweet ride. There's been some challenges when we had the big crash of March 2020. It was a little bit scary, but that's okay. It then boomed after that, and then through a series of good moves, things went on very well for me. And then go back to May last year is when I first heard of Lobstr through Whiplash. I've been following Whiplash probably not too long after the pandemic started, because that's when I started going really deep down the rabbit hole, just working out what the heck is going on. So that Lobstr journey for me has been really good. I mean, very early on in the piece, as I started to gather the assets and understand about seized assets, because way back then I started hearing about Donald Trump and how he had enacted three pieces of three executive orders
Right.
that effectively seized the world's wealth. I mean, if you look at those executive orders, one about crimes against humanity, one about election interference, and another one about Chinese companies interfering in U.S. affairs. Those three executive orders effectively seized the world's wealth. And then what I could see from what Whiplash and a few others are putting out was that those assets, yeah, they're still on the stock market right now, and they're going up and down and all that manipulation stuff. But in the background, they're being placed onto a whole new system, a whole new, what I would call token market or an asset market, as opposed to a stock market, but it's all on Stellar. So Stellar, to give you an understanding, is it's just a crypto coin, just like your XRP, just like your Bitcoin and so forth. But the way things are going to roll through in the quantum financial system is that not all coins are going to make it, because some coins do have a nefarious past and the way they would develop. Others are going to make it because they come to a certain standard. So the standard of coins, the standard should be the ISO 222 standard. It's a meshing standard for transferring. So those coins are XRP, XLM, XTC, Algorand, and IOTA. So they're the five main coins, I suppose. If you're being conservative in your approach with crypto, they should be the coins that you hold. Bitcoin, unfortunately, and Ethereum, I don't think they're going to last. I think they will have an untidy end. But having said that, when we know that the world's wealth's been seized, and then if you intelligently look at what's going on and seeing that those assets are now appearing on Lobstr. Now, when we say Lobstr, it's an exchange, just like Binance is an exchange or Coinbase is an exchange. The difference is that Lobstr only has assets on there that are on the Stellar blockchain. Now, what is Lobstr? Essentially, it's a portal. It's simply a way of looking at assets on the Stellar blockchain. So your coins are not, or your tokens are not on Lobstr. Your coins or your tokens are on Stellar, the blockchain. It's just that if you have a Lobstr account and you're logging into it every day, that's your portal, because you've created your secret phrase and your password and so forth to get into your particular wallet.
Right. Is
So
that
what
the
people
only way? Just sorry to interrupt, but is that the only way to access it is through Lobstr? Or
No, not at
okay.
all. There are a number of different exchanges on that are what you call Stellar exchanges. So there's Scopely, Stellar Term, Stellar X. So they're all valid exchanges, but Lobstr is the one that is the easiest to use, and it's the one that predominantly everyone trains other people on. So it's been the default exchange, and it's had its issues. I mean, it is very easy to use, but the challenge is over the time we've had nefarious things happening on Lobstr. So, for example, we would see that all the good assets, all the ones that are what we know are the ones that are part of the seized assets, they're all getting these triangle scam alert warnings on them. And you go, what is that about? But then, when you look at Q and you ask to think mirror, we can now quite clearly see that anything that's got a triangle on it that purports that they say is a scam asset is not. In fact, all the scam assets don't have a triangle on.
Ah,
So you see what I mean? Having said that, we're just discovering in the last few days that these scam developers are putting reports on their own scam assets to make them look like they're good.
oh
They got
my,
a triangle. Yeah, I know. It's so literally,
wow.
you go, oh my God, how bad has this got? So that is where, as a collective, we've got our spreadsheet. So go right back to when we first started. I was collecting these assets and I was putting my own little Google spreadsheet, and I would share that with my family and friends. And it was only like 10 pages in the spreadsheet. Then over time, as these assets started coming forward, I'd add more and more assets to the spreadsheet. And as I was training people, both locally and on Zoom, they would get access to the spreadsheet, and the assets were building up over time. And then particularly when we start to see the main rollout of assets with Indus Exchange in particular, and then commodities, that spreadsheet just blossomed. And then we had people from all over the world in different groups, QSI and Mel's channel, and everyone was using the spreadsheet and getting great benefit from that. And then after a while, we had so many people on the spreadsheet that, and it's a Google spreadsheet. It's nothing flash, but the problem is that so many people are on the spreadsheet, it was bogging it down, and people having trouble connecting and so forth. So it got to a point that we had to sort of redesign the spreadsheet, and a lot of people lost connection with the spreadsheet. So they would make contact and say, okay, well, join the collective and you get access to the spreadsheet. So that's how we sort of give access to the spreadsheet. So, but then, so we've got this issue with the scam alert warning. So that's one aspect. But then we found that you couldn't even search on Lobstr for a valid asset, meaning that if you did a search for an asset, all you'd see is the scam assets. You wouldn't even see the real assets or even your own assets. So what we had to do as a collective is do a workaround. So we started creating, every domain had its own page on the spreadsheet, and we list all the URLs for all the assets on each domain. So we had a period of about a month where we had admins just throwing in, grabbing the information, and we we're just collating the spreadsheet. So we had like 15 people on the spreadsheet collectively, just putting all the asset domains in there, giving us and the collective the roadmap with all these assets and the URLs. So that solved the big problem, because even right now still you cannot search for an asset properly. The only way you can do that is by a search tool. And we've now, thank goodness, one of the gentlemen in the collective, Ben, has developed some really good tools to be able to search for assets, search for on issuer addresses, search for duplicates, search for zero assets, trust lines. It's brilliant. So he's really bringing to the collective a really great tool to help us to audit and clean up our wallets, because over time, as we're buying these assets, and you fill up one wallet and you go to another wallet and so forth, things can get a little messy. So it's good to be able to tidy up your wallets and so forth. But all of that has come about for one reason only, and that is we have had a challenge and we faced it and we turned it around. So as a collective, we have been able to work together and solve a problem. And the big problem we had was the spreadsheet and Lobstr, and now that's been fixed, and you know we're able to move forward very well with that. And I suppose when you go back to like 5 months ago, you know, when I was just back then I was known as Crypto Brownie. You know, back then we were just finding our feet, trying to work out how to put this all together. And then, you know, I was discovered sort of on Mel's show, and then from there it sort of blew up from there. But it was at that time when there's a big change that happened where I realized that I couldn't continue to be Crypto Brownie. So I had that name change, and then we had the collective name change, or the name change to the collective, and then you know, it just blossomed from there. So now we're at a point now where we've got the main channel, we've now got an advanced channel, because a lot of the people that have been trained up in the main channel, the Lobstr collective chat, they've now also gone on to the advanced channel, where at that level they know how to search for assets very easily using issue addresses on SDEX and Stellar Expert and so forth. So we have a core group of advanced people now, as well as we've got in our channel. We've got in our major channels, we have over 20 different Telegram channels, all on different topics. So everything from humanitarian projects to practical living, to vax injury support, to re-education. It's a really big important one. So all these channels are designed to feed information to people. The biggest problem we're going to have after the event is we're going to have all these newly awoken people go, oh my God, oh, how did I get duped? How did not see this coming? But they'll want to search for truth. Right now, only those who are awake are searching for truth. But when the masses search for truth, they'll be out there, you know, just banging every YouTube, everywhere they can to find the real information. And that's where the collective, with their channels, it's designed to be a feeder to bring people into a safe area where they can learn the truth, probably for the first time in their life, and they can get involved with, I'm serious, the first in their life, and they can get involved with a community. And really, that's what collective is. It's a collection of like-minded people that all have the same heart and the same desire to help humanity. Because the reason why we're buying all these seized assets, it's not for our own personal gain, it's to help humanity. Because what's going to happen moving forward, it's not going to be governments driving things. It'll be us. You know, governments will reduce to 1/10 of their size. But the projects and the way that we rebuild the world, a lot of it will be on our own back. and that will be taking charge as such and looking for ways, yes, to bless people, but also to rebuild this world. It's going to be a big challenge, but we'll have the funds to do so from this wealth transference.
Well, I think that's why it's so important that we had you on, is because when you're saying channels, that's through the app Telegram. So if people do not have Telegram, that's the first place to look. And then Lobstr is Lobstr, and that is also an app. What's that? Yeah.
No E. Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah. There's no E. So Lobstr. So I just wanted people to know that, first of all, and that, you know, we want to be here because, you know, I mean, I've learned a lot about what's going on in the world through people like yourself and watching certain channels, and also my friend Scott. That's why we started this. So I just wanted to say that first, and I know someone probably has a burning question over here, so please feel free.
Well, I just, you know, I mean, we started in the middle a little bit. I just wanted to catch our audience up on, you know, what the hell's going on with Lobstr. There's a lot of reports. I'll just leave it to you to explain, but it looks pretty nefarious, and you know, a lot of us have invested a lot of time and you know, some money into our assets. Where are we at with Lobstr? What happened? You know,
look, I in the beginning I talked about Lobstr just being a portal and being one of, you know, 5 or so different exchanges that you can transact on. So when you look at Lobstr, it's been the bread and butter for most of us. It's how we've opened accounts, got a passphrase, and we've transacted on Lobstr. You could use your passphrase and go over to Scopely today and open up an account with Scopely, and link your wallet to it, and then never use Lobstr again. That's a choice. Having said that, and of course, you won't see any scam warnings on the other exchanges. It's only Lobstr.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's important.
So when you look at Lobstr, yes, we've been on it for yonks, and we've seen the slow sort of change over the time, where, you know, more and more scam alert warnings, the inability to search on domains. Also, all these things have basically happened to try and slow you down and deter people from buying assets. That's what it is. So what they're trying to do is deter you from getting your freedom, to deter you from having the wealth, or to be part of the wealth transference. Now, from what I've understood, there's been a real campaign in the background by the black hats, by nefarious people, to stop us doing what we're doing, and to stop the creation of all these assets for the wealth transference. We've seen, if we follow Whiplash and Double X, we've seen the infographics showing all the companies all linking together, seeing how the QFS is going to roll out. Now, the key thing here is that if all this was not real, if all this was a scam, then where are all these companies lining up to sue? They're not. Their assets have been seized. You've got to think logically. If this was a scam, if Lobstr and the QFS, what we're seeing, was a scam, you'd have all these, you know, you'd have BlackRock, you'd have Vanguard, you'd have BHP, you'd have all these companies suing, and they're not, because their assets have been seized. And this is what's been rolling out. So yes, from what we understand, Lobstr itself, the developers of Lobstr, do have a nefarious past, and we will find out fairly soon, I believe, what the true history is and what's been going on in the background, and why we've been so hindered in our processes. But from what I'm understanding is that the White Hats have seized control of Lobstr, and we've seen the denigration of our service over the last, probably last month at least, where it's so slow and hard to buy assets. And that's because it looks like they're moving servers, they're doing stuff in the background, and of course you can't have things running at full speed to have that happen. So my understanding is that probably in the next 6 hours there'll be an update as to what the hell's been going on, and a lot more will be revealed. But from what I'm understanding, and I've been involved with Lobstr for 80 months or so, I know right back in the very early days there was a developer called King Troll that everyone thought he was the guy was going to be the savior of the developer for the QFS. Wasn't true. It was a black hat. He had a lot of people with him trying to bring things down. He's in jail right now, and there's a lot of other people that are heading that way as well. Because the bottom line is, Lobstr is part of the overall QFS. Nothing can stop that. The White Hats are in control, and we'll find out a lot more information about that over the next day or so. But I've always known in my heart that this is the real deal. I've always followed Whiplash from for me the beginning was probably March 2020, and I've developed that spreadsheet, which now probably has something in the order of 400 pages. No, even more than that.
Wow.
500 pages on that Google spreadsheet. It would have to be the biggest Google spreadsheet in the world right now. It would be. I mean, because ordinarily, why do you use a spreadsheet like that? It's sort of like a replacement for a website in many respects. But on that spreadsheet has all the assets, both the open assets, which you can buy at market price, and the unopened assets, which you can place active sell orders at the 2.214760 for XLM. And when those assets open up, whammo, you got a whole bunch of tokens. That's all on the spreadsheet, including all the training videos, all the Telegram groups. Because basically, right now in Telegram, we've got a channel for pretty much every country in the world now. Definitely every state in the US and every capital city in the US has its own Telegram group. Same in Australia, about 25 Telegram groups for Australia. And those Telegram groups are what we call local chat groups. And they're designed for one thing only, and that is local connection. Because the biggest problem we've had in the last 2.5 years, as people are woken, they felt so disconnected. They go, yeah, am I the only sane person here? Well, when you join the collective, and when you become part of a local chat group, and when you meet and have coffee or a lunch or a dinner or something, there's connection, there's hugs. When some people haven't had a hug for years.
Right.
So it's that low connection. And then you see everyone on their phones showing people how to get onto different assets and how to open up wallets and so forth. It's a beautiful thing to see that everyone's working together collectively to raise everyone up. So it's just, it floors me as to how we were able to create the collective and how it just keeps on growing, and how the right people keep coming to the collective with their talents and skills, which they provide gratis. I mean, we've got the best multimedia person helping us. We've got our admins are incredible, and of course our admins that work in the actual chat group themselves, providing answers to the questions. Phenomenal, and they're from all over the world. But you look at these chat groups, you look at Belgium or Poland, and you go, wow, they're all connecting, but I don't know what they're saying in their language, but there's all this chatter going on,
Oh, that's great.
It's
Very
exciting.
cool. Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to. I mean, you don't have to know English. I mean, a lot of these people are bilingual. Yeah, sure.
Sure.
But I've set up a chat group for China, and our intention will be every province in China will have its own chat group, and then every city will have its own chat group.
Beautiful.
So you look at in 5-10 years time, we'll have probably 10,000 chat groups in the collective all over the world, and everyone's connecting locally, working on projects, funding different opportunities, promoting their local a greengrocer, market store, whatever. It'll just be a different world. We're going from a global society to local connections. That's where the power is, local connections. So, oh man, I'm so excited.
Well, I think a lot of people are going to be surprised, and we're going to put some links below, but a lot of people don't understand that the last 5 or so years has been a sting operation to seize these assets. So the 3 executive orders that you're referring to, anyone that is involved in these nefarious activities, a lot of these larger companies, they are literally getting their assets seized. And there is a documentary, and it was created by a gentleman named Bonfire Guy and Charlie Freak. And Charlie Freak, interesting dude, very charismatic,
amazing guy, yeah.
Very unique. He's very well. He understands music and what a lot of these songs mean, and the hidden meanings. But a lot of people are going to be blown away to learn that there is so much going on behind the scenes, and that's where you have to look. And you're not going to see it in mainstream media, and that's what's been so fascinating for me to learn and to understand it. So, as far as what has been going on behind the scenes, a lot of people, Trump is a very misunderstood person, and yeah, he comes across at times as abrasive and arrogant, if you will. But the scrutiny and the attacks that he's been under, he can't just go out and say what he's doing. There's JFK was killed for that, right? Yeah. I mean, you've had Ronald Reagan. There was an attempt on his life. So much of what's been going on in the world has been going on behind the scenes. And so if you could maybe elaborate just a little bit more on, maybe how these assets are seized, or just to give the listeners a little bit more insight into that, because I'll be happy to post links to that documentary. But it's really been a big sting operation, and that's what's taking so long, is because the swamp is really deep, and I think it might even be deeper than more people even imagined. So please go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, deeper, right? Yeah. Don't forget, we're in the process of taking down not just a decade's worth of cabal, but centuries. When you look at the bloodlines, when you look at the true history, it's just far deeper than we could ever imagine. And when you look at the Q post, it talks about, if people knew the truth, 99% would be in a mental hospital. That's the truth, So when we talk about what's been going on behind the scenes, we'll only probably ever know, 10-20% tops of all the stuff that's gone on behind the scenes. And I follow earthquakes at the 10K level, have done since the start of the pandemic. I've known what's going on down there, and I know why that's so important to clean up in order to bring forward, a beautiful life above the ground, not below the ground.
Yeah, he's referring to the deep underground military bases where.
Yeah, I was just didn't know how far I could go there. But yeah, and all the assets that have been seized. I mean, the Vatican, Windsor Castle, Buckingham Palace, all throughout Switzerland, all that gold, all that treasure has been seized. So this is a massive operation of when you again, the bonfire link, I'll actually put it into my channel down below as well.
Of course.
It's brilliant video. In fact, on the landing page of my spreadsheet, I've got 3 great videos with the bonfire guy and his other 2 follow-ups. So literally, if I could give you the link to my channel, people can join the channel, get the link to spreadsheet.
Yeah.
And wow.
I don't know if I've seen the 2 follow-ups personally. I don't know if
well, nor had I. It's like there's more.
Watching later.
Wow.
Yeah, and in fact, when you join the collective channel, it takes you to a link at the very. It's just an information channel. The first, what we call the lobby. So you go into the lobby at the top, and you read down and you get this education we're talking about. Literally all those videos are there, and then videos on Lobstr and so forth. And by the time you get down to the end, you've had a real education, so that when you get down to the bottom link and you click there to go over to what's called a portal to prove that you are human. And that's an important point, because we had people coming into or we had bots coming into our old Telegram group, and it was a mess.
Oh,
Because people are getting direct messaged and, hey, I'm Crypto Brownie, you know, I can help you move your assets off the exchange. These scammers are rife. Plus also to, you know, titty girl scammers, bots and so forth. Terrible. That's all gone now in our new channel, and it's because people come over and they prove they're human, and once they solve the puzzle, so they beat the bot, then they go into the real channel, and from there they can go up to the pinned comment, get the link to the spreadsheet, and away you go. There's all the information you need. All the resource videos are on there. So literally by joining and going down through the lobby, then going into the main group, going up to pinned comments, getting the spreadsheet, looking at that spreadsheet and seeing all the assets there on the pages, all the Telegram groups, everything is there. So literally we've created a one-stop shop. So really anyone can join the collective, and within 3 or 4 days of just going down all rabbit holes, they can be fully proficient. By all means, ask some good questions in the chat and so forth. We're always posting good stuff in there about what's going on. We have the advanced group where it has all the real good, not real good, but all the latest Whiplash content. Because there are some things you shouldn't put in the beginners channel, because it overwhelms them. But we've had now the advanced channel going for a few days, where people are coming into the advanced channel. They've been through everything for the last 2, 3, or 4, 5 months. They're experts. They know what they're doing. So they go into the advanced room, and then that's where it gets really exciting. It's a good room to be in. But there's always progression with all these things. You have to do your time learning and studying and building your confidence before you go on to the next step. So that's all there for people. But the key thing with all that process, it's designed to tell people, or show people, why are you buying these Lobstr assets? You're buying them because once you've read all the videos, you watched the videos, you realize that, as you said, this is the biggest thing in history, and all these assets have been seized. You look at, there's a website, I think it's called resignations.org, and you see all the CEOs that started resigning in 2017 and on. 14,000 CEOs.
Huge.
It just goes to show, just goes to show how massive this is. It's incomprehensible as to what's been going on in the background. To the point you have to think, oh, come on, that can't be real, but it is. But it is. I mean, once the more you get into this, the more you realize that, wow, we are onto something massive, and 99.9% of the population are still out there wearing a mask in public, wearing a mask, driving their own car, oblivious.
right.
It's literally, I surround myself with amazing, positive people, and then when I go to the shopping center and I get out of the car and go, oh my God, I'm in zombie land again.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah. Well,
So-
I want to ask you, so, and this is what's going to be interesting, and I think at some point Scott and I will be maybe perhaps interviewing some of the people that have been through some of these situations. But you think of the 14,000 CEOs, and I'm sure a lot of people get involved and they go through the corporate steps and the corporate ladder, and they get to a point, and then when people find out the world has essentially been run by a large mafia, we're gonna wonder and be really curious as to how, what went on in these backroom deals. What was the blackmail? Do you have any insight as to, how there's so many CEOs that were involved in this? Like, you don't start out as like, oh, I want to get in this company and become a CEO and then be involved in something that's, run by the cabal. And so I don't know if you have any insight. I don't know who does yet as to how these entities, you know, get their grips on so many people.
Yeah, look, man, it really is about you know, as you go up the corporate ladder, or as you're a policeman and you're doing your good work, you're a sergeant now, and you're going up to the next level. There's always a point of decision where you get the tap on the shoulder that says, if you want to go any higher in this company, or in the police force, or even in the armed services, there's a tap on the shoulder. If you want to do that, then come here. You got to do something. So that's where you think of Epstein Island, you think of the Playboy Mansion, you think of all these things. Hollywood parties, where you're invited to a Hollywood party, and then all of a sudden there's something going on in the back room, and hey, and if you don't go, oh shit, I'm out of here, and you stay, well, they've got you. That's the thing. The biggest thing that we talk about here in Australia is Freemasonry. That runs the whole system. That runs everything. You don't get to any position if you're not wearing an apron, put it that way. So the biggest challenge we've got as a society is that when the upper echelon and the middle management is taken out, companies still have to function, supply chains still have to function. So there is going to be a massive call for young leadership to step up into these positions. Having said that, I think the structure of companies will change. It's not going to be the pyramid that we know right now. One of the things that Dell did very well in his company is he didn't make himself out to be the guru and the leader. He always surrounded himself with people that are smarter and better than he was. And that kind of leadership, if you want to call it leadership, is the model moving forward. That's why myself as the collective, when I'm not smart, I'm not intelligent like so many other people in the collective, but I surround myself with really cool people.
I do beg to differ on that.
I beg to differ as
well. Look, I just happened to be in the right place at the right time. Go back 40 months ago to learn and have the time to learn all this stuff. People come in and they go, "Wow, all this stuff," and they have to. It's like when you first get onto Lobstr, everyone says the same thing. Like you go, "Oh my God," and then the next 3 weeks, like your wife goes, "Where is he? He didn't come to bed," and literally when I first heard about the unopened assets, and because back then I thought it was like, if you put in the price of 1 billion per XLM, that's fantastic, and when it opens, 1 billion tokens 1 XLM. But then I found out it was 2 billion plus. I was saying to my family and my friends, "Hey guys, it's 2 billion at least." It's like, oh man, now we've got to delete all the assets and put 2 billion. So literally, there was a period for about a month where my wife never saw me, because I was creating these assets and had to redo them. But it was so much fun.
Yeah,
it was so much fun with just the energy, just learning all this stuff. And
well, that's when we met you.
Open,
that's when we met you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
such a ride to be part of that. And I don't know, I guess that's a question we both have. I don't know what it's like specifically now to get in and riding that wave, or where people would really start, and if some of that's still possible, or where would someone start?
Are there any more open assets, or is that?
Oh yeah, there is. There's still about 70 domains that haven't opened. So it don't ever feel as though you missed the boat, because you haven't. I've always said to people, until we get the EBS, there's still time. And the way that I've structured things with the collective is that we, in our minds, we had a certain idea of how we're going to build the infrastructure, and we'll keep on doing it until the EBS. All the channels and the chat groups and so forth. And every day that we don't have an EBS is an opportunity to keep building the structure, but also to help more people get these open assets and these, place these sell orders on these unopened assets. So right now, if you're watching this for the first time, great. Go down in the description, click the join Lobstr Collective, go through your education. That might take you seriously 2 days, and that's fine. Learn all you can, and then open a wallet, learn how to transfer XLM over to the wallet, or use the new MoneyGram app to transfer funds to buy XLM, and then be able to place these orders on these assets. Whether the EBS happens next week, next month, doesn't matter. Just do it. There's
And
no
that's
time
the
like
event,
process.
right? Brownie, is that's
Yeah,
the event? That means emergency broadcasts system.
Well, there's 2 parts to that.
Okay.
There's
Please go ahead.
there's a lead up to the event. So the way that I've had it described to me is that we're going to see an event like the collapse of the Three Gorges Dam that's going to rush water throughout China and Wuhan and so forth. That's the start. Then quickly going to see the passing of an old lady that runs a certain country or Commonwealth, and this is all going to happen very fast. And then bang, all our assets, all our unopened assets will be filled. They have to fill before the crash. Have to. Why? Because you can't transfer wealth to accounts that still have unopened orders. So Dam, Queen, assets fill, and then the event really starts. And then that's where we see the crash of everything, literally everything, including the value in your Lobstr wallet will go to zero. Bitcoin will go to zero. XRP will go to zero. Everything goes to zero. But then out of that, during that 10 days of darkness, or I call it enlightenment, they're going to transfer those assets over onto Stellar, and then at the other end, we're going to see the true value of our assets, meaning gold and silver will take off, and because XRP is backed by gold, XLM is backed by silver, they'll take off, and then as a result of the assets being backed by gold and silver, they will take off. But then also apart from the value of XLM and XRP, there's on top of that is the value of the company itself. So that will have a value based on the gold and silver ratio and so forth. So so what we're saying is at the end, when we come out of this situation, and it won't be easy. You don't think it's 10 days of enlightenment and you watch a movie and so forth and, hey, let's get going. No. It's going to be a challenge for that next 3 months as people come to terms with what the hell just happened. And that's where, again, the collectives channels are designed to bring the newly awakened in to get the answers, and also to get yourself set up a Lobstr, because everyone will need a Stellar wallet. I call it a Stellar wallet, not a Lobstr wallet. It can be Lobstr you want, but everyone needs a wallet to transact in the quantum financial system, including all those people that have been out there gathering their Zims and Dongs and dinars and so forth. They're all ready to get their transference. How's it transfer? It has to transfer into a Stellar wallet. So, if you're out there holding these currencies, don't muck around. Get a wallet now. Partake in the other wealth transference happening. There's a few aspects to the wealth transference. There's those currencies, which some have been holding for decades. You've got the gold and silver buffs, fantastic. Silver in particular, I think, is going to be phenomenal. You've got the XRP army. They're all going up there, oh, I got the XRP, it's worth a fortune. Which it will, but it's like they're all talking about, hey, worth a fortune, I've got it on my ledger, all good. What else are you doing? Just waiting. Whereas the Stellar community, as in Lobstr, we're buying assets. We're preparing.
This brings me to a question. It was described to me when I heard about the upset with Lobstr that you just talked about. that the assets in Lobstr are not held like XRP on an exchange, Coinbase or Uphold or whatnot, but rather they're on the Stellar ledger. So
Yeah.
your assets are secure regardless of what happens with
Oh
Lobstr.
yeah,
Is that
yeah,
correct?
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. From my understanding, it's whereas normally, XRP, you can transfer it to a ledger. Great. I keep all my XRP on Lobstr on the F-chain domain because I know it's safe and secure. I know that Lobstr, particularly now that's been taken over by the white hats officially, and the fact that Stellar is a chain that's been protected by the white hats or Space Force in particular. There's nothing to do, So when the event, literally when the event really takes off, turn off your phone, turn off your computer, go and get a beer, some popcorn, and relax. There's nothing to do. It's no use looking at your phone and go, everything's falling to shit. We know that.
Now, what about Zoom? Is Zoom still secure? Because
Yeah, XUMM.
yeah, XUMM, not.
Oh yeah. I don't know a lot about that, but some say yes, some say no. Because I came late to the XRP party, so I'm not exactly. I mean, I've got it on Lobsters, but I'm not an XRP aficionado as such.
Got it.
But yeah, I mean, everyone has to make their own decision, and it's the same thing with here we are coming. Well, I believe fairly close to the event. I'm not gonna say when, but how much bad can it get? We're at
pretty big.
I remember Dave from X22 saying we're at the precipice 8 months ago.
I know.
How long can you be? It's like that movie Cliffhanger, hanging on by the nails. How long can you hang on for? But it's at the end of the day, the way I look at it is the longer that this event takes to happen, the more opportunity for more people to get themselves set up in position. My goal, when I go right back to 3 years ago when I first got into Lobstr, I was into crypto, I had a goal set that I wanted to help 1,000 people become crypto millionaires. That was the goal when I was, this is before Lobstr, for everything else. And then when I got into Lobstr and I realized the importance of all this and the seized assets, my goal became, 10,000 people become billionaires. And I think out of what is happening, we can see more than 10,000 people become billionaires in one form or another through this wealth transference. So when that many people have control of the funds with good hearts, then we can achieve amazing things.
Yeah.
Quick question. A lot of people have joked about, the media mocks the whole Space Force concept. Can you talk a little bit about what Space Force really is?
Yeah, well, it's I mean, Space Force basically, it's not just people think, Space Force, are they fighting aliens? Well, they are controlling space. They are controlling the protecting satellites. We have coming up a Corona event at some stage where we don't know what's going to happen, but Space Force is controlling that. But they control the entire internet. Space Force looks after and oversees the NSA. NSA looks at bloody everything. But above them is Space Force. So yeah. Hey guys, but Space Force is cyber security, and you look at when you look at quantum.gov. There's a great site for you when you understand that we're moving away from the current internet structure, the current financial system to a whole new system that is quantum. Now, my name was changed to Quantum Brownie, not by accident, I don't think. It wasn't my call. It was one of my admins that suggested the name. I thought, well, that resonates with me. But it's true. Everything is going to quantum, which basically means, every transaction you do will be quantum. So it's going to be an education process for sure. but the whole system, the internet, the banking system, as we know it, will change, and it's all set up ready to go. So all we're needing is that trigger event. And so we just have to wait and see when that happens.
Beautiful. Yeah,
I'm
I
pretty
want to let
excited.
you ask some questions too. It just.
Well, I got the
it's like-
big one out of the way anyway. So
Mm.
yeah, no, it does. It seems like yesterday, the events of yesterday, I'm sure you heard about with the FBI raid on Mar-a-Lago. That
Bloody
seemed to
exciting.
really be throwing gasoline on the fire. That was a real accelerant, and definitely mobilized a lot of people that started to take things very seriously. We get caught up in this day to day, and it's just exhausting. I mean, we thought this would be over what, a year and a half ago,
Yeah, easy.
or more, and we just keep trudging through. Well, yesterday, I think was a turning point.
Pivotal,
What do you think?
Oh, absolutely, 100%. This was sort of like the moment that the normies, well, not the normies, those who, as you said, sitting on the fence, going, oh, something's going on, what's going on, now they know what's going on. It's like, holy crap. They're
Tyranny
trying to
in the
take
spotlight.
down a good man. Yeah. So we are literally, it's almost like yesterday was the defining point where we enter the storm. The storm is coming, blah 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 blah. We've now entered the storm.
And it was the
So
opening of the Lionsgate portal for folks that
well, it's
as
pretty.
well. I mean, the timing. There's so many different things happening.
I know.
And Biden
I know. It's just
jacket on.
Right.
Jill had to, put the.
Oh, that was so funny.
All of this stuff happening all at once. It's like there's so much information if you know what you're looking at.
And the kicker on when you're looking at Trump's campaign and it says text 080822. I mean, it's been, the number's been right in front of us for
all this time.
And those are the little things that people will be like, what? I mean, they really think, the normies, especially in the Northwest, they just don't see that Trump is actually really a brilliant guy. But there's all these little codes and signs out there. It's amazing if you know what to look for.
Yeah, and you really don't have to like Trump. You just have to like freedom.
Right.
If you don't like freedom, you're probably
right.
in the wrong place.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And I mean Earth, I think, when I say that. Right. Certainly the United States anyway.
Yeah.
So,
and it's not just Trump. There's a team of people that he's working with, and it's funny, I talked to my brother about it, who's, former Air Force a cadet, went to the Air Force Academy as a pilot, and he just can't see that and doesn't. He just doesn't believe it when I'm like, look, there's some really good people in the military that are working as known as the white hats, and there's some amazing stuff going on behind the scenes. And he just looks at me like, yeah, right, dude. It's just like, but please go ahead.
For eyes to see. I mean, the bottom line is that, and we had a discussion today at our coffee chat. We're now at a point where if you're not awake, if you can't see what's going on, there's no point trying to help them. They will find out during the event. During the event, they will wake up big time. I've always said to people, you take the red pill now, there it is there, or you take this big red pill later on. And it's
suppository.
Not going to be nice. That's the bottom line.
It's going to be a lot less pleasant. Yeah.
That's right. But also too, think about what I was saying before about the collective channels, right? We've had two. He's gone. We've had 2 years, 2.5 years to wake up. Most of us, we've been waking up as a process over these last 2.5 years.
Right.
So we've been able to take the information, process. Yeah, there's been some sleepless nights when we're trying to, process, tunnels and children and so forth.
Yeah.
But we've had time to process. Think about all the people that are about to watch an 8-hour movie from the get-go, and and they got no choice but to be at home and watch this thing. they're going to have to process that so freaking hard. It's going to blow a lot of minds.
Right.
So when we come out of the cave as such and into the light, there's going to be 1,000 answers, and like I was saying, for the first time in people's lives, they're going to want truth. In the past, it's like, well, you tell me what the truth is. I don't want to think for myself. You tell me what the truth is. Now, all of a sudden, they'll want to know the truth. And the Bible says it sets you free, and it will set you free if when you're searching for it. Now, the biggest problem we've got right now is there's so much disinformation. So some of the things that we've been told as truth may not be truth, but after the event, all truth will be revealed. I mean, hey, is the world round or flat? I don't know.
Yeah.
I can go either way. It's fine, but I know the truth afterwards. So I'm flexible enough to go either way. But after the event, oh boy, and that's where education. That's where you guys come into your own. This is where all the truthers who have developed a following, shall we say, over the last 2.5 years, the good ones, the ones that weren't psyops, they're going to be the truth tellers. They're going to be the ones who will be, on, where the Netflix is around, and I don't know, but they'll be on the channels giving truth information. As they say, we are the news now. We really are. So more so after the event, we were the ones that will be providing the truth in a normal, relaxed way. I mean, not in suits and reading from a script and so forth, and getting my 4 a.m. talking points and all that.
Right.
It'll just be normal people talking.
Joe is
Refreshing.
such a good example of that. I remember it was like 3.5 years ago or so. But I've always been kind of his kooky conspiracy nut friend, and I mean, I've led an unusual life. I've had unusual experiences, and so I've been questioning things for a long time. But I remember it clearly. He was on his way out, and I said, the world you live in and the world you think you live in are two different things.
It
And
really
he
hit
stopped
me
for a
hard.
minute, and it was like I could see the light bulb go off. And then from that point forward, I mean, he just dug in, and now this is a guy that lives in service to others. He's always taking on new things. It's a phenomenal thing to see, and I'm really hoping to see that with all these folks when they do wake up. Is just
en
wow.
masse, yeah.
We worked in a $2.5 billion resort for a while together, and it was a little bit heartbreaking to see all the we're serving the top of the top, the 1/10 of
1%, yeah.
or less. Yeah, 7 billionaires in a room, kind of a thing, and they were desperately unhappy people most of the time. They had access to everything everybody wants, and it really clicks, I think, when you realize that the real value in life is being of service to others.
Connection.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it is the connection. It really is.
Yeah.
And when if that takes off in the world, what a beautiful place.
Yeah. And creating win-wins. Of course you don't want to be helping people and drowning, but if you can help, just like this podcast, it's, you help validate the things that, Scott and I have talked about, especially, in the Northwest. There's not a lot of people for Scott and I to talk to about this stuff. And here we are talking with an eloquent gentleman from Australia who has a lot of people that have come to his collective and a lot of beautiful minds. And it's really, really validating. And we're communicating, over, we're 17 hours apart, you're right now, it's the next day and 7 hours behind us, rather.
That's right.
Time traveling,
and so it's been a beautiful thing to reach outside of our comfort zones and just what is going on, and to help each other understand our world. It's beautiful to be able to do this. So I love that you're here. So thank you.
Yeah.
Well,
absolutely.
Well, thank you guys. I mean, it's been a really great connection. I mean, I remember when Scott and I first spoke on Zoom for 2.5 hours, like, how did time go? We were like in a portal, like the time stood still. was amazing.
true.
And that's what happens when you are associating with and connecting with like-minded people. You know, like I said, we'll all want to learn. We'll all want to be of service, because when you're not struggling to pay the mortgage and you're not struggling to put food on the table, when you're you know, as I say, your basic needs are met, then you can look outside. So many people have just been so bashed down and conditioned, they can't see outside their own troubles. You know, it's and they and it's like they how can I put this? For them, it's everybody else's fault. It's not their fault. You know, people blame. Whereas, you know, if you focus on yourself and worked on yourself first before you know, putting crap on others, you'd go a long way. That's for sure.
You get
But
roped
we'll
into
learn that.
this
We'll
idea that
learn
we're
that.
competing with each other, and that you know,
Yeah, that's right.
resources are so finite, and we, you know, whatever the other guy has, that's less of what I have, or this crazy
Yeah.
mentality.
Keeping up with the Joneses
Yeah,
almost.
Yeah.
it couldn't be further from the truth. I mean, the real value is being in service to lifting each other up. There's just nothing more rewarding.
Yeah, encouraging. I mean, like it's when, how can I put that? We get to a point where once we're comfortable, and we have our own needs met, it's a lot easier to help meet other people's needs, because it's a bit like an example of a bucket of crabs, live crabs in a boiler. You know, one's trying to get out and the others are trying to pull the other one down, and as a result, they all cook together. You know, that's the mentality that we live right now. Whereas if the crab goes up the side and, come on, mate, give you a hand, come on, guys, have my back, and they pull everyone out of the pot, they're free.
Right.
That's the analogy.
That's
Yeah.
a great.
Yeah.
And
That's
it's
a
just
great
a mind
analogy.
shift.
Yeah.
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 Very
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Very true.
Well, I know, and I always, I don't know how this always happens. It's like right when it's around that hour, it just feels like, oh, it's about that time, and we've covered a lot of great ground, and we're about that point. But I just want to let you guys know that, and we try to keep these around there. Is there anything you want to say in closing? Because I know we want to.
He's got an internal clock that's
Yeah, that's good. That's
concept
good.
of time.
It's
and
good
all
that
this-
someone keeps time.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
But anything you want to close with? That's
Well,
you have
just
something inspiring, and yeah,
just from the point of view that you know, we don't know when this event's going to happen, but we know it's going to come. Nothing can stop what's coming. So my encouragement to people watching this is, it doesn't matter where you are right now in say your Lobstr journey or your wealth creation journey, or your, you know, the understanding of the wealth transference. Keep pushing forward. Keep pushing forward. Keep learning. You know, keep connecting. You know, the longer this thing takes, in many respects, the better, because then there's more people to come along with the journey with you. I mean, at the end of the day, particularly when you know, you've learned about Lobstr, you want to share it with other people, because you don't want to be the only person in your circle that's got the money. You want to be able to travel the world and have fun with other people. You know, take your mates along. Now, unfortunately, there are some mates, you know, I've had them, mates that have dropped off because they conceptually can't understand or perceive what's happening. But I found a whole lot of new friends that I can party with after the event. You know, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, we're gonna have a blast.
It's going to be a blast.
Yeah,
I mean,
we'll be seeing you in
You're
Australia.
invited. Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Oh, mate,
We'll come visit
I'm getting an RV and touring the US. I tell you, I'm
Love
getting an RV. I'll learn to drive on the wrong side of the road.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Quantum Brownie. We really appreciate you, and I'm sure we'll see you again, and just look forward to the rest of this ride. It's been an amazing journey.
It's a ride, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
indeed. It's been great to be on this journey with you guys.
Always a
It's nice
pleasure.
to know that we're not just doing it by ourselves.
Yeah. Well, maybe we can do this again in a week or two.
Oh, it'd be nice, and hopefully by then it's a celebration.
Yes.
Exactly. I think we're getting close.
All right. Well,
yes.
we'll bid you farewell, and we really appreciate you and love you, and look forward to the rest of it. So cheers.
Bless you guys. Cheers.
Take care, Brownie. Thanks.